A new chapter in the nursing home tragedy.
This was tragic for all of us.
People inside the rehabilitation center at Hollywood Hills now telling their side of the story. Employees describing the moments leading up to the deaths of several patients after Hurricane Irma.
We did everything in our power that we believe we could do.
The power is out, temperatures rising, and repeated calls for help, but no one coming. Tonight, we take you inside a CBS 4 News investigation. Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Natasha Anderson was one of dozens trying to help patients in those terrible moments after Irma. She says she helped sound the alarm about troubles at the nursing home, calling an emergency line given out by Governor Rick Scott's office.
Anderson sat down with CBS 4 News investigator Jim DeFede for an exclusive interview where she reveals details about the efforts to get help.
You could be as prepared as possible, but until the real deal happens, you just never know what to expect.
Natasha Anderson is the CEO of the Larkin Behavioral Science Center, a 50-bed psychiatric hospital located on the west side of the same building as the Hollywood Hills nursing home.
What was that like when the storm was hitting here?
It was very scary because for me, I had never experienced a storm of this magnitude.
In the days leading up to the storm, Anderson recalls Governor Rick Scott holding daily conference calls with hospital and nursing home officials from around the state.
And during those calls, Governor Scott informed administrators and nursing home officials if at any time a facility needed help or needed to get assistance on the back end because you felt your facility was not getting their needs met, to please call the numbers that he provided, and they will make sure that help was received.
Did he convey that this was his personal cell phone?
He did.
How did that make you feel?
I actually was very impressed. I remember getting off the phone and saying, I'm really impressed. We're really well prepared. Our governor is involved. I feel confident that, we're going to be okay. As a healthcare administrator, I felt really confident that if anything goes wrong, I can call these numbers and surely we're going to be okay. We're going to get our needs met.
Then Hurricane Irma hit.
The AC went out approximately around 3 o'clock on Sunday. I was not made aware that it actually even went out until about 3:45 on Sunday when the director of engineering walked over to our side of the building to inform us that the AC did go out. He informed us that the AC transformer that's located on an FPL pole right outside the building was blown out of place.
Do you know roughly how many times people called FPL?
I have seen some of the phone logs, and I can tell you over 20, 30 calls made to FPL between Sunday and Tuesday evening.
By early Monday evening, about 25 hours after their AC lost power, and with FP&L still not responding, Anderson called Governor Scott's cell phone. The call went to voicemail, and several hours later, someone called her back.
My expectation was that we would get a better response. I know, and I do not question how hard the governor and his team worked for the state of Florida. It was very difficult for everyone. We were all going through a crisis with Hurricane Irma. I just believed and I expected for a different response.
A total of 4 phone calls were made to the governor's cell phone, but nothing came of them. By early Wednesday morning, the situation inside the nursing home deteriorated rapidly.
There's a perception that the people who worked in this building, throughout this building, just didn't care about the people that were inside here.
This was tragic for all of us. And to go through this and live this was one of the most difficult things that all of us experienced. Just even being in the building, I brought my family here, my team brought their family here, and if we didn't care, I would have been at home. And I would have been, in the comfort of my home. That was not the case. We were here, and we were making rounds, so we did not stop. We did everything in our power that we believe we could do, and within our means, to care for our clients and to make sure that their safety was priority. And the fact that that's questioned, it's just very difficult for me.
Anderson said she realizes the families of those that died are angry.
They're family members. They want answers. I get it. I have family members of my own who I am very protective of and I will do anything for. So I get it, and I believe they will get their answers.
After the last of the residents were evacuated from both the nursing home and the behavioral hospital, and she made sure her staff was all right, Anderson said she packed up and left.
Yeah, I got in the car and I was, I cried. I was very emotional. I did not know what I was feeling. There was too much for me to even put in words. Yeah, from the fear to the unknown to just the chaos of the day, trying to be the strong person for, my facility and for my employees and, for my clients.
Making matters worse, after the nursing home was evacuated, FP&L finally showed up.
One person, they were able to get on the pole and was able to replace the transformer that was blown out of place, and immediately the air kicked in. Immediately.
It took less than 25 minutes to fix.
The most disheartening feeling I had felt ever, to know that something of this magnitude took only 25 minutes to resolve. It could have happened on Sunday when we made a first attempt to have FPL come out here.
Wow, those are pretty tough words that Ms. Anderson has for the governor. Have we heard from his office?
We did. We heard from Governor Rick Scott's press secretary tonight. This is what she had to say. Every healthcare professional knows to call 911 if their patients' lives are in danger, not an elected official. We need to know why this facility didn't call 911 or evacuate their patients. Now, of course, this begs the question, why give out your cell phone if you don't want it being called? Also, the nursing home would argue that they, in fact, were calling the governor to head off the crisis by calling him more than 36 hours before the first death occurred.
So it seems like the blame game is continuing. The governor's office blaming the facility blaming FPL. Where does it go? Where does the buck stop? So
right now, there is Hollywood Police Department is doing an investigation. There are a number of lawsuits that are going to be filed by family members. As Natasha Anderson said, the truth will eventually come out. There is also a hearing on the revocation of the nursing home's license. That'll take place in January, and we're expecting a lot more details to come out. But I will tell you that we're learning more and more now, and so a lot of this information we're going to be presenting this week.
And Jim, quickly, why didn't she call 911?
Well, in fact, they did. They did call 911 when their patients went into distress. The argument that the nursing home makes is that you don't call 911 to evacuate a building. Right. She was on the phone. They were calling the Department of Emergency Management, the Emergency Operations Center in Broward, the governor's line, FP&L. All of that was being done. 911 they felt was only when the patients became critical. They had hoped it would be stayed off before that.
It didn't turn out that way. All right, Jim, thank you very much. And the story does not end here. Join us again tomorrow night. We will bring you exclusive interviews with 2 nursing home employees who say they did everything they could to care for those inside the home. They describe what happened in the days and hours before the first residents' deaths. It's a CBS 4 News exclusive right here on CBS 4 News at 7.